Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself drifting into sleep. The sounds of the world fade away, leaving only strange reels of film playing inside the theater of the mind. There, your brain, a silent director, is broadcasting the original streaming service known as the dream. Today, we'll step behind the scenes, where science is gradually unveiling the secrets of how the brain creates, remembers, and interprets those nightly visions. But before we venture into the bright realm of science, where machines can record every fluctuation during sleep, let us turn back the clock, returning to those long nights when humans still regarded dreams as miracles from the heavens. If dreams were a play, then humankind, across thousands of years, has taken turns being the playwright, the interpreter, and the audience of its own mind. From ancient tribes by the fire to Greek philosophers, to Freud and Jung in their psychoanalytic chambers, each era has woven its own understanding of dreams, reflecting the timeless desire to find meaning hidden within the shadows of consciousness. In times before electric light, people gazed at the starry sky and believed that every dream was a message from the gods. In ancient Egyptian culture, there even existed temples of dreams, where devotees came to sleep and await divine visits in their dreams, seeking guidance for healing or foretelling fate. In ancient Greece, Homer allowed his heroes to dream prophetic dreams, a warning, a promise, sometimes even the direct intervention of gods in the human world. To them, dreams were not merely the products of the mind, but bridges between the mortal and the divine. In the East, the I Ching and records in Sima Qian's Records of the Grand Historian show that ancient Chinese believed dreams could reflect the mandate of heaven, or that the soul could leave the body to travel across other realms. In Vietnamese culture, dreams were also once seen as omens. To dream of dragons is a sign of good fortune. To dream of snakes means something significant is about to happen. Those beliefs, though tinged with myth, carried a certain human beauty. They expressed the longing to connect with something greater than oneself, with the universe, the creator, or simply with the unanswerable mysteries of existence. Yet as human knowledge entered the age of reason, dreams began to fall from the divine throne and became puzzles for the mind to solve. At the end of the 19th century, in a room filled with notebooks and half-burned cigars, Sigmund Freud began a revolution. He didn't ask the gods about dreams. He asked humanity itself. Freud believed that dreams were not mystical phenomena, but gateways to the unconscious, the realm where repressed desires, instincts and fears, suppressed by society, are stored. When we sleep, the mask of reason temporarily falls, allowing those repressed urges to quietly emerge, disguised through images, symbols, and the illogical narratives of dreams. For example, a dream about a burning house may not merely be a memory or a common anxiety. It may be the metaphorical manifestation of a suppressed fear or desire. Under Freud's lens, dreams are the ego in its truest form, only written in the language of symbols. His work, The Interpretation of Dreams, 1899, opened a new chapter for psychology. It compelled the world to look inward, not as purely rational beings, but as creatures driven by longing, fear, and inner conflict. Freud transformed dreams from messages of the gods into mirrors of the soul. But dreams, like all matters of the human mind, cannot be confined to a single perspective. A student, and later Freud's greatest interlocutor, Carl Gustav Jung, viewed dreams in a different light. If Freud saw dreams as the products of personal drives, Jung believed they reached a deeper layer, the collective unconscious, where the archetypal symbols shared by all humanity reside. The mother, the hero, the shadow, the circle, the labyrinth. To Jung, when we dream of being lost in a forest, it is not merely our own story. It is the echo of countless generations of humans who have feared, searched, and yearned to understand themselves in the night of the soul. Jung did not study dreams merely to decode them. He conversed with them. In dreams, he saw messages from the deepest part of the self, inviting us to reconcile reason and instinct, light and shadow. From that perspective, dreaming becomes a spiritual ritual, a process through which one heals, understands oneself, and reconnects with the shared stream of humanity. For Freud, dreams are what is hidden. For Jung, dreams are what must be heard. These two paths, though different, meet at a common truth. Both believed that in dreams, we touch the very essence of humanity and the part we deliberately forget during the day. The 20th and 21st centuries ushered humanity into a new era, the age of neuroscience. Machines can now record heartbeats, brainwaves, and even eye movements during sleep. Dreams, once belonging to the misty realm of spirituality, have stepped into the laboratory. Scientists discovered that dreams most vividly occur during the REM, rapid eye movement stage, when the eyes dart rapidly beneath closed lids while the body remains still. During this stage, the brain regions responsible for emotion and imagery are highly active, while the rational areas fall silent. The result is a film filled with emotion, illogical, sometimes terrifying, sometimes astonishingly beautiful, just like the way we dream. In the 1970s, researchers Alan Hobson and Robert McCarley proposed the activation synthesis theory. Dreams carry no hidden meaning at all, but are merely the brain's attempt to organize and interpret random signals generated during sleep. Yet, as with all science, the picture proved more complex. Recent studies reveal that dreams play a role in consolidating memory, processing emotion, and maintaining mental health. When we dream about something that frightens us, the brain is rehearsing responses, helping us adapt to those emotions in waking life. Some researchers, such as Matthew Walker, author of Why We Sleep, suggest dreams are like the brain's natural therapy. They allow us to re-experience painful emotions, but in a safe environment. Thus, dreams are not merely byproducts of sleep. They are intricate processes that help us understand, forget, and heal. Today, even with MRI and EEG technology, we still cannot watch someone's dream as if watching a film. Brainwave data is merely electrical activity, yet behind those waves lies an entire inner world, rich and sometimes beyond language. Japanese scientists have attempted to reconstruct dream imagery using artificial intelligence, and though the results remain hazy, they hint at a future where we might one day record our own dreams. But that raises a question. If that day comes, will dreams still remain the most private and sacred realm of the human being? Perhaps it is precisely because dreams cannot yet be captured that they remain beautiful. For in dreams, we are still free, beyond rules, beyond time, beyond even ourselves. Looking back, we realize humanity has never stopped trying to understand dreams. We have come full circle, from entrusting them to the gods, to Freud and Jung, and back again to the electrical waves of the brain. Yet perhaps dreams still connect them all, a parallel journey between spirituality and science. If once the gods spoke to humans through dreams, now it is humankind learning to listen to the voice of its own brain. Freud said dreams are the road to the unconscious. Jung said they are the doorway to collective humanity. And modern science says dreams are the neural map of emotion and memory. These three perspectives, seemingly divergent, converge upon one realization. Dreams are an inseparable part of being human. They are how the mind speaks to itself, in silence. If one day we come to fully understand dreams. Then, at that very moment, we will have also understood humanity itself. The very thing that science, philosophy, and art have all been seeking. But until that day, each dream remains its own universe, where we are simultaneously the storyteller, the character, and the silent audience sitting in the theater of the mind. After journeying through the long history of dreams, from mythology to science, it is time to return to where it all began, to sleep itself. For to understand dreams, we must first understand the stage upon which they unfold. If dreams are a play, then sleep is the theatre where every performance is arranged. It is not merely a simple state of deep rest, as we often think, but a sophisticated symphony orchestrated by the biological rhythms hidden deep within every cell of our being. When we lay our heads on the pillow, turn off the light, and close our eyes, the outer world fades away. But within, the brain begins its silent journey, passing through 4 stages, 4 movements, in the nocturnal symphony of life. The first moment we drift into sleep is like stepping through a misty doorway. This is the N1 stage, also called the sleep threshold. The body relaxes, the heart rate slows, the breathing becomes steady, and consciousness begins to flow away like a current. It is during this time that vague images, flickers of light, echoes of sound, or fleeting faces will wouldn't appear in our minds. Scientists call this phenomenon hypnagogic imagery, or sleep-onset hallucinations. It is not yet a dream, but the waiting room of dreaming, where the brain tests the boundary between the real and the unreal. If you have ever jolted awake with the sensation of falling just as you were about to sleep, that is the mark of N1. The body remains half awake, the nervous system still scanning, and the brain seems to be asking, is it safe to surrender to the night yet? Though it lasts only a few minutes, N1 is the necessary prelude, the gentle overture that allows the mind to let go of the waking world and prepare for the deeper movements of sleep. Once the door of N1 closes, we step into N2, the stage of light sleep. This phase accounts for more than half of our total sleep each night, yet it's the one most people pay the least attention to. During N2, the body becomes nearly motionless, temperature drops and heart rate steadies. But inside the brain, something remarkable occurs. Bursts of rapid, sharp brain waves, called sleep spindles and K-complexes, begin to appear. Sleep spindles act as the brain's gatekeepers, filtering out external noise and preventing unnecessary stimuli from waking us. Thanks to them, you can sleep peacefully through a rainstorm or the distant hum of passing cars. But N2 is not only for sleeping soundly, it is also the stage of temporary memory consolidation. The brain starts sorting through the day's information, deciding what to keep and what to discard. If N1 is the prelude, then N2 is the steady rhythm that keeps the whole nocturnal symphony running smoothly. Calm, seamless, and so natural that you never realize when you've fallen into it. Eventually, we reach the deepest point of sleep, N3, also known as deep sleep or slow-wave sleep. This is the stage where, if someone calls your name, you are unlikely to wake. But do not worry, your body is busy performing the most sacred tasks of life. In N3, brainwaves slow into heavy, steady delta rhythms like the cosmic beat of a drum. The body regenerates cells, repairs muscle tissue, secretes growth hormones, and strengthens the immune system. In other words, deep sleep is the body's repair workshop. For children, this is the period that fuels growth. For adults, it heals small damages and restores energy for the next day.
Even more remarkable, N3 also cleanses the brain.
Neuroscientists have discovered that during this stage, the glymphatic system, a special waste removal mechanism, becomes active, flushing out neurotoxins that accumulate during the day, including beta amyloid, a substance linked to Alzheimer's disease. If the brain were a city, N3 would be the night shift of the sanitation crew. quietly sweeping away yesterday's debris so that when the sun rises, everything is clear and renewed once again. And then, after the body has been repaired and renewed, the brain enters the most magical stage, REM, rapid eye movement. This is when our eyes dart rapidly beneath closed lids, as if following a vivid movie unfolding within. The muscles are almost paralyzed, preventing us from acting out our dreams, yet the heart, breath, and brain become as active as in waking life.
REM is the main stage of dreaming.
Here, emotion, memory, and imagination merge, creating stories that defy logic yet feel profoundly real. The brain seems to be experimenting with reality, blending old memories with new emotions, transforming experience into meaning. According to Matthew Walker, REM sleep functions as the brain's nightly emotional therapy. While dreaming, the brain replays painful emotions within a safe environment, allowing us to process and transcend them. Perhaps that's why, after a night filled with dreams, we wake with a sense of lightness, as if we've somehow spoken with ourselves. REM is also considered the cradle of creativity. Many artists, scientists, and inventors have drawn inspiration from dreams, from Mendeleev, who saw the periodic table in a dream, to Paul McCartney, who heard the melody of yesterday while asleep. If N3 is where the body is reborn, then REM is where the mind is set free. There, we can fly, we can cry, we can meet the departed, and everything feels strangely real. The wonder lies in the fact that these 4 stages do not happen just once, but repeat in cycles lasting about 90 minutes. Each night we go through 4 to 6 rounds of this pattern. And within each cycle, the proportions of the stages change. The early night is rich in deep sleep, N3, while the later night overflows with REM. It's as if the brain has its own schedule for every hour of the night. At first, it prioritizes physical restoration. Then, it moves on to processing emotions and memories. Finally, it broadcasts our personal series onto our dreams. A good night's sleep is a full journey through all 4 stages. If we are awakened midway, we lose not only our dreams but also a vital part of the body's natural recovery process. Thus, sleeping enough does not merely mean sleeping long. It means giving the body enough time to complete the entire nocturnal symphony, from overture to finale. Sleep is not merely rest, it is the biological ritual of equilibrium. In each stage, the brain and body communicate in their own language, through hormones, electrical waves, and memories. In N1, we learn to let go. In N2, we find tranquility. In N3, we are healed. In REM, we dream. To remember, to forget, to live again. Understanding the architecture of sleep helps us understand how the brain sustains life itself. Everything within us, from cells to emotions to creativity, depends on these cycles to renew.
Paradoxical, isn't it?
We spend 1/3 of our lives asleep, yet it is during that seemingly idle time that we live the most intensely. As the first light touches our eyelids, the body begins secreting cortisol, the awakening hormone. The brain slowly withdraws from the realm of dreams, returning to the rhythm of daylight. But if we listen closely, we can still sense the lingering echoes of the nocturnal symphony, a trace of calm from N3, a spark of creativity from REM, a hint of tenderness from a dream not yet remembered. Sleep, seemingly an empty void, is, in truth, the foundation of all perception, emotion, and creativity. Without sleep, there would be no dreams. And without dreams, humanity might lose its deepest self. When the symphony of sleep has played its course, the mind's solo begins. In that quiet darkness, the brain does not merely rest. It begins to tell us the stories of itself. Since the dawn of humanity, as people have looked up to the night sky, the question, why do we dream,
has never found a final answer.
Some say dreams are random reels of imagery. Others believe they are the secret voice of the soul. Yet in either case, every dream is an inner journey, where the brain is simultaneously director, audience, and storyteller. Modern science has shown that dreaming is not a meaningless byproduct of sleep, but an innate psychological therapy. In emotionally charged dreams, the amygdala is the brain's emotion center, becomes highly active, while the rational control regions rest. This allows us to relive sadness, loss, or fear in a safe, judgment-free environment. It's as if the mind were replaying a memory, but this time the pain is softened, leaving only the lesson behind. Neuroscientist Matthew Walker calls this the brain's natural form of emotional therapy. When we dream, we let the brain quietly soothe itself. Perhaps that is why, after a night filled with dreams, we wake feeling lighter, as though our emotional wounds have been gently stitched back together in silence. During the day, our brain absorbs thousands of fragments of information, a glance, a sentence, a fleeting line of text. But only during sleep, especially in REM, does the brain begin organizing that vast archive. What matters is transferred into long-term memory. What is trivial is erased, like tidying a cluttered room. Dreaming is the process
of filing away memories, reorganizing the inner.
world. An experiment at Harvard University
Found that people who slept and dreamed after
learning a new skill remembered better and reacted.
faster than those who stayed awake all night.
It seems that while we lie still, the brain quietly rehearses, strengthening the new neural connections formed during the day. In this way, dreams are the brain's silent secretary, rewriting the pages of our mental journal so that, come morning, we can continue to learn. To live and to love. In dreams we may laugh, feel fear, or burst into tears over something seemingly small. Those emotions are not false. They mirror our true psychological state, the one we conceal during the day. People who are anxious often dream of being chased. Those who grieve often dream of searching for someone. Those under pressure often dream of falling endlessly. Dreams thus become mirrors of the unconscious. They do not judge, they do not lie. They simply reflect what the soul wishes to reveal. And sometimes, by merely recalling a dream, we can better understand ourselves, or what we need, what we lack, and what we are running from. The psychologist Carl Jung once said, "Dreams are the little letters that the mind sends us each night." Perhaps we dream not for entertainment, but as a way to communicate with our most hidden selves. Many of humanity's great inventions were born in dreams. The chemist Dmitri Mendeleev saw the periodic table in a dream. Paul McCartney heard the melody of Yesterday while asleep, and writer Mary Shelley conceived Frankenstein after a nightmare. When we dream, the brain is freed from the constraints of logic. It connects ideas that seem unrelated, like a painter mixing colors without a sketch. And it is precisely within that creative chaos that sparks of new inspiration appear. Dreams help us transcend the limits of reality, to test what we dare not in waking life. They let us fly without wings, say the unsaid, relive the past, or touch what is yet to come. Thus, creativity may be the child of dreams, and dreaming, the subtle gift nature grants to the imaginative mind. Dreams are not merely products of neurons and chemicals. They are invisible rituals that reconnect us with ourselves. When we dream, the boundaries between reason and emotion, body and spirit, reality and imagination dissolve. Perhaps that is why, in many cultures, dreams are seen as the language of the soul. The ancient Greeks believed dreams came from Morpheus, the god of forms. Eastern traditions viewed dreams as gateways through which the soul leaves the body to journey through other realms. Though modern science explains dreams through electrical impulses and chemistry, Emotionally, they remain a sacred space where we are truest to ourselves. In dreams, we wear no masks, play no roles, and need not appear strong. Only the tender, authentic, and primal part of the soul remains, quietly telling its own story. If sleep restores the body, dreams heal the soul. Each dream is an inner dialogue, sometimes puzzling, sometimes heartbreakingly beautiful, yet always carrying a message. A grieving person may meet a lost loved one. A stressed person may dream of flying. A sorrowful one may cry and then laugh within the same dream. Dreams are not illusions. They are the brain's way of processing pain that words cannot reach. Within those imagined stories, we learn to forgive, to let go, and to begin again. Dreams are, therefore, like gentle nocturnal therapy sessions. Quiet, doctorless, needing only our willingness to rest and to listen. Scientists once experimented by waking people each time they entered REM sleep, effectively taking away their dreams. The results were alarming. Within a few days, subjects became irritable, disoriented, and lost focus and emotional control. This shows that dreams are not decorations of sleep, but essential functions of mental life. Dreams act as pressure valves for the mind. If blocked too long, repressed emotions will spill into waking life. In other words, dreaming is how the brain maintains the sanity of the soul. Just as the heart needs a beat, the mind needs dreams. From a biological viewpoint, dreaming seems like a luxury. It consumes energy and keeps the brain active when it should rest. Yet, evolution preserved it for millions of years, proof that dreaming offers vital benefits. One hypothesis suggests that dreaming helps humans rehearse responses to danger in a safe setting. When we dream of being chased or facing peril, the brain is practicing survival skills. In that sense, dreams are the evolutionary laboratory of the mind, where humans learn to feel, react, and adapt before confronting reality itself. From the ancient nights when humans slept under the stars to today, dreams remain the most mysterious software in the program of life. They blend biology and emotion, chemistry and poetry. When we dream, we are not merely reliving memories. We are experiencing what it means to be human, to imagine, to create, to love, to fear, and to understand ourselves more deeply. Thus, the question is no longer why do we dream, but who would we be if we no longer dreamed? Dreams need no reason to exist. They exist because we need something beyond logic, a space for the mind to breathe, for the soul to speak, and for humanity to remain human. We have spoken of what dreams bring: emotion, creativity, and healing. But a deeper question remains: who is the artist painting these dreams? Let us look within, where the brain transforms into a master director, silently crafting the nightly film called the dream. When we close our eyes and drift into sleep, the outer world fades away. Yet another world begins to glow within. On the small stage of the brain, billions of neurons begin their performance, not by chance, but through a production meticulously choreographed over millions of years of evolution. Dreams, in essence, are not supernatural miracles. They are complex biological phenomena, where different brain regions interact, disconnect, and reconnect in their own unique patterns. It is this contrast between what shuts down and what lights up that creates the strange world of dreams. Illogical, emotional, and sometimes more vivid than reality itself. One, the prefrontal cortex. When reason falls asleep while we dream, the prefrontal cortex, the center of logic, reasoning, and judgment, largely goes offline. This region helps us distinguish right from wrong, impose order, and plan while awake. But when it switches off, dreams slip beyond the rules of reality. That is why we can fly, meet the dead, or speak to ourselves in another form without finding it strange. The brain no longer questions or doubts. Everything is accepted as part of the script. The temporary shutdown of the prefrontal cortex gives dreams their surreal, illogical nature, but also opens the limitless space of imagination. If, during the day, reason is the editor, then at night it leaves the desk, allowing the unconscious to take up the pen and write the wild stories that can exist only in dreams. As rational thought quiets down, another region flares to life, the amygdala, the emotional center buried deep within the midbrain. The amygdala is highly active during dreams, especially those filled with tension, fear, or excitement. It is the flame of emotion that makes dream experiences so intense that causes us to weep, tremble with joy, or wake up in terror, even while our bodies remain motionless in bed. During REM sleep, the amygdala runs at full power, while the prefrontal cortex stays silent, a perfect combination that allows emotions to express themselves freely, unfiltered by reason. That is why dreams often feel dramatic, even extreme, and also why they carry such healing power. Emotions are safely released within the realm of imagination. One could say that the amygdala is the lead actor in the theater of dreams, the one who breathes soul into every frame, giving each scene the pulse of emotion. But emotion alone does not make a dream. Every dream needs a setting, imagery, and story. To construct this film set, the brain relies on a faithful assistant, the hippocampus, the region responsible for storing and retrieving memory. While we dream, the hippocampus pulls data from short-term memory, selecting scattered fragments, an old street, a familiar room, the face of a childhood friend, and passes them to other regions to reassemble into new scenes. That is why, in dreams, we often find ourselves in places both familiar and strange, meeting people we recognize but cannot name, or witnessing fictional events drawn from reality. The brain is recycling memories, not to deceive us, but to process and reinforce them. The hippocampus is like a quiet librarian working backstage, always selecting the right book of memory to read, providing the dream's texture, color, and depth. From the memories supplied by the hippocampus, the occipital lobe, the brain's visual processing region at the back, comes alive. Even with our eyes closed, this area glows brightly in MRI scans, as if we were actually seeing the world around us. The occipital lobe transforms streams of abstract data into shapes, colors, and motion. It is the painter of dreams, painting
skies, faces, oceans, even landscapes that have never existed.
The realer-than-real feeling in dreams comes from this region's vivid activity. The brain does not need eyes to see, it projects its own inner cinema. Some studies show that visual activity during dreaming matches that of real perception, meaning the brain does not distinguish between reality and imagination. So when you dream of flying over a city, seeing light glinting off rooftops, or looking into someone's eyes, it is all the handiwork, the magic of the occipital lobe. Another mystery of dreaming: why don't we act out our dreams? The answer lies in rematonia, the temporary paralysis of the body's motor system. During REM sleep, the brain inhibits signals from reaching the spinal cord, rendering the body nearly motionless. Only the eyes and diaphragm, which control breathing, remain active. This is a protective mechanism, preventing us from running, fighting, or shouting in response to dream events. Thanks to rematonia, the brain can perform freely without endangering the body. However, when this mechanism malfunctions, we may experience sleepwalking or sleep paralysis, when consciousness and body fall out of sync, leaving us awake yet unable to move. The sensation is terrifying, but it reveals how fragile the boundary between dream and reality truly is. In that sense, rematonia is the final gatekeeper of dreams, ensuring that the theatre within the mind never spills out into the waking world. When all these regions work together, some dimmed, others lit, some painting, others performing, we experience a complete play called the dream. No director could coordinate billions of neurons so precisely, except the brain itself. Dreams are proof of the mind's innate creative power. Without cameras or scripts, armed only with electricity and chemistry, the brain can build entire universes. The wonder is this: the actors in our dreams, friends, foes, animals, even versions of ourselves, are all products of the same brain. They converse, argue, love, and hurt us. Yet they are all fragments of our own mind, performing together on the same neurological stage. With modern technology, neuroscientists can now watch how dreams unfold using fMRI and EEG machines. When sleeping participants are asked to memorize images before dozing off inside scanners, scientists find that the same brain regions activate both when viewing the images and when later dreaming about them. Research teams in Japan and the United States have even attempted to predict dream content based on neural activity maps. For example, when a subject dreams of a face, the fusiform gyrus, the facial recognition area, lights up. When they dream of spatial environments, the parietal lobe, responsible for orientation, becomes active. Though we are still far from watching a dream like a film, science is gradually decoding the genetic blueprint of dreaming. Perhaps one day we will truly see our dreams replayed on a screen, a prospect both fascinating and unsettling. Because sometimes what we dream of are the deepest truths we ourselves are not yet ready to face. Looking at the brain's activity during dreams reveals a paradox. Reason shuts down. Emotion flares up, memory awakens, imagery flows. The body remains still, chaotic, yet governed by its own order. Dreams are proof that the brain never truly rests. It simply changes its mode of operation, shifting from logic to intuition. If the day belongs to the world of light, where reason leads the way, then night belongs to the world of shadow, where emotion and the subconscious dance together. Between these two realms, the brain plays a dual role, both scientist and artist, recording data while simultaneously painting the poetry of dreams. When dawn arrives, the prefrontal cortex stirs, the amygdala quiets, the hippocampus closes its library, and the occipital lobe dims its light. The brain lowers the curtain on its performance. Yet somewhere, the echo of the dream lingers, in a faint emotion, a sudden idea, or an unnamed longing. We wake, open our eyes, and believe the dream has vanished. But in truth, part of it remains, folded within the creases of consciousness, silently shaping how we feel the new day. Perhaps that is why humans have always longed to understand dreams. Because in those moments of dreaming, we see not only images, but our truest selves. After learning how the brain creates dreams, we are faced with a paradox. If everything within a dream is an illusion, can we ever be conscious inside that illusion? Can we realize that we are dreaming and control the dream itself? Imagine this. You are flying through the night sky, the wind brushing your face, the city glowing below. Suddenly you realize, wait, this is a dream. And instead of waking, you smile, you continue flying. But now, you know you can change direction, summon someone, walk through walls, even rewrite the story as it unfolds. At that moment, you
are inside a lucid dream, a dream in which the dreamer becomes aware within the dream.
Normally, in dreams, we are completely swept away. We believe everything is real, no matter how absurd. But in a lucid dream, consciousness flickers awake amid the stream of fantasy, like a candle suddenly lit in the dark. The dreamer realizes, "I am dreaming." From that awareness, they can interact with, alter, or explore the dream world, as though traveling through the landscape of their own mind. Some describe the experience as living inside a game created by oneself, where everything responds and transforms according to thought. But unlike a digital simulation, there is no computer, only the brain reprogramming reality on its own. The phenomenon of lucid dreaming is no longer myth. Neuroscientists have observed and verified it with concrete evidence. When a person enters a lucid dream, the prefrontal cortex, normally asleep during REM, lights up again. This region is responsible for self-awareness, reasoning, and behavioral control. The result is a unique state, half awake, half dreaming. The brain remains in REM, the birthplace of dreams. A part of consciousness reactivates, aware of the unfolding story. Using fMRI scans, researchers at the Max Planck Institute in Germany found that when trained dreamers were instructed to signal within their dreams, for example, by moving their eyes left and right, the signal appeared clearly on the scan, proof that they truly knew they were dreaming.
Lucid dreaming, therefore, is not an illusion. It is an expanded state of consciousness lying between sleep and wakefulness, where the boundary between the two worlds becomes no thicker than a veil of mist. Many people have experienced lucid
dreams naturally, often when a dream becomes so strange that the brain begins to question its reality. But there are also techniques that can help one consciously enter this state. Reality check. During the day, frequently ask yourself, "Am I dreaming?" and test reality. For example, look at a clock twice to see if it changes or count your fingers. This habit imprints on the subconscious, and when dreaming, the brain repeats the behavior, helping you realize you are dreaming. Mnemonic induction, mild. Before sleep, repeat the phrase, "Tonight, when I dream, I will realize that I am dreaming." And this acts as mental programming, planting the intention to awaken in the dream. Wake back to bed, WBTB. Sleep for 4 to 5 hours, wake briefly, then go back to bed. This helps the brain quickly re-enter REM, the stage where lucid dreams most easily occur. These techniques do not guarantee immediate success, but like learning an instrument, consistent practice trains the brain to open the door between two worlds. In a lucid dream, we are not just observers, we become creators. Every thought, every emotion can materialize into imagery. Say, "I want to go to the beach," and suddenly you're standing on white sand. Think of someone, and they appear. Emotion is the spark, thought is the artist. Many artists and innovators have used lucid dreaming for inspiration. Filmmaker Christopher Nolan once shared that his movie Inception, a story of dreams within dreams, was inspired by his own lucid dream experiences. When we can consciously shape our dreams, the subconscious becomes a limitless creative studio where all physical laws and logical constraints dissolve. And sometimes, within those films, we not only create, we also discover ourselves, the parts we never dare to express in waking life. Lucid dreaming is not merely a play of the mind, it has real therapeutic value. For people suffering from recurring nightmares, particularly those with PTSD, learning to recognize this is only a dream allows them to change the dream script and reduce fear. For instance, instead of being chased, they stop, face their pursuer, or fly away. Once the brain realizes it has control within the dream, the fear it associates with real life also diminishes. Some therapists even use lucid dreaming for practice, such as public speaking, resolving conflicts, or conversing with one's other self. Though not a complete substitute for real experience, the brain processes these events as genuine, helping patients grow calmer and more confident when awake. In that sense, lucid dreaming becomes a therapy room without walls, where the dreamer is both patient and healer. What fascinates scientists about lucid dreaming is not just the ability to control dreams, but the doorway it opens into human consciousness itself. For millennia, philosophers have debated, what is consciousness? Where does it go when we sleep? Lucid dreaming offers a clue. Consciousness does not shut off during sleep, it simply changes form. When the dreamer awakens within the dream, their brain operates on the border between REM and wakefulness, the two states overlapping. This demonstrates that consciousness can traverse layers. It is not absolute or fixed, as we once believed. Lucid dreaming also raises a profound philosophical question. If, within a dream, we know we are dreaming, what truly distinguishes dream from wakefulness? If both are constructed by the brain, then what is reality? Physicist Thomas Metzinger once compared lucid dreams to a laboratory of phenomenology where one can observe the purest form of the self, when the entire surrounding world is merely a reflection of consciousness. At the deepest level, lucid dreaming reveals that the boundary between dream and reality is only the stability of illusion. By day, that illusion is maintained by the senses. By night, it is guided by memory and emotion. But both are products of the brain. And once we understand that, we begin to feel both the fragility of reality and the beauty of being able to dream. Lucid dreaming does more than let us control our dreams. It teaches us to live more consciously while awake. For once we have awakened within a dream, we can also awaken in life, recognizing which emotions drive us and which scripts we unconsciously repeat. In its deepest meaning, lucid dreaming is not about controlling the world, but about realizing that we live in a world that can be changed, whether in dreams or in waking life. And perhaps one night, as you float in the endless sky, you'll smile softly and whisper, "I'm dreaming. But I'm also living something just as miraculous." If lucid dreaming is where we awaken within the world of dreams, then there exists its opposite. A realm where dreams overflow with chaos, where emotions are so repressed they tremble with fear. There, the brain still functions, but reason cannot intervene. And we call these nightmares. Not every dream is gentle. Sometimes the mind becomes a dark cinema where we are chased, fall endlessly, or face painful memories we tried to forget. Such dreams make us sweat, awaken in terror, even knowing it was all an illusion. But to science, nightmares are not merely bad dreams. They are a subtle mechanism of the brain, a space where emotions, especially fear, are reenacted and processed. Each nightmare is a message, an emotional exercise that forces the mind to confront pain and learn resilience. A nightmare is a dream filled with fear, pain, or tension occurring during the REM stage, when emotion is most active. In that state, the amygdala, the emotional center, blazes, while the prefrontal cortex, the rational center, remains silent. The result? Fear is amplified, unchecked, and transformed into vivid, terrifying scenes. In nightmares, we may run endlessly without escape, scream without sound, or watch loved ones slip away. Though frightening, these images are not meaningless. They are the brain's way of replaying unresolved emotions. A study at the University of Geneva found that people who experience frequent nightmares actually process negative emotions better when awake, as if they had been training in their dreams to face fear in real life. In other words, nightmares do not punish us, they train us harshly but instinctively. However, when nightmares become too frequent, they can develop into a condition called chronic nightmare disorder, causing insomnia, exhaustion, or depression. At that point, dreams cease to be therapy and become a burden. And that is when psychological science, or even lucid dreaming, steps in to help people rewrite the script of fear. Unlike nightmares, night terrors do not occur during REM sleep, but in N3, the stage of deep sleep, when the body is still and the mind has yet to form vivid dreams. Common in children, night terrors cause sudden screaming, thrashing, rapid heartbeat, and sweating if the person remains semi-conscious. Upon waking, they recall nothing. While a nightmare is a film, a night terror is a biological reflex, a sudden activation of the nervous system during deep sleep, triggering fear without awareness. The image of a child sitting upright in bed, crying with wide, unseeing eyes, is the very picture of a night terror. Fortunately, most cases fade with age. As the nervous system matures and learns to distinguish real from imagined, even in sleep, for science, night terrors are vivid proof that sleep is not absolute stillness, but a battlefield where the body and mind continue their silent work. Another phenomenon, both scientific and haunting, is sleep paralysis, known in folklore as the shadow pressing. The experiencer is fully conscious, aware of lying in bed, yet unable to move. They may feel pressure on the chest, sense a presence in the room, or see a dark figure watching, all so vivid it provokes terror. Biologically, this happens due to a timing mismatch between consciousness and the body. The brain wakes up earlier, while REM atonia, the paralysis that prevents movement during dreaming, has not yet switched off. The body remains locked, but awareness has already returned. In this half-awake, half-dreaming state, the amygdala, emotional center, remains active, and the occipital lobe, visual center, may generate visual, auditory, or tactile hallucinations. That's why we see shadows, hear whispers, or feel a heavy weight pressing down. Different cultures have given this experience many names. The shadow, the demon maiden, hag riding in Europe, but science calls it what it is, a temporary overlap between REM and wakefulness. Interestingly, those who recognize what is happening, that it is only sleep paralysis, often feel less fear, knowing no demon is present, only a brain misaligned between waking and dreaming. From nightmares to night terrors to sleep paralysis, they all share a common thread. The brain is attempting to process powerful or unrelieved emotions. When we face stress, anxiety, or trauma during the day, the nervous system records it. But since it cannot fully discharge those emotions while awake, it releases them in sleep. When control mechanisms are relaxed, it's the brain's way of saying, we need to face this. In neuropsychology, nightmares are viewed as nature's tool for emotional regulation, like a violent nighttime storm that nonetheless cools the air and clears the sky. After such a storm, the brain is somewhat cleansed of accumulated emotion, leaving us lighter upon waking. Today, many therapists employ imagery rehearsal therapy, IRT, the practice of dream rescripting, to help people with chronic nightmares. Patients are guided to rewrite their dream scripts with more positive outcomes, then visualize them before sleep. After several weeks, the frequency of nightmares significantly decreases. The principle is simple. The brain learns emotion. When we train it to imagine a different ending to fear, it begins to adopt that new pattern and in dreams repeats that reaction. This proves that even within dreams, we can still learn, adapt, and change. And perhaps the most beautiful truth of this therapy lies here. We don't need to run from our nightmares, only to walk toward them.
Listen to them and realize that they too
Are parts of ourselves seeking to be healed. Beyond nightmares, many people experience other sleep disorders, sleepwalking, sleep apnea, nocturnal seizures, or chronic insomnia. All of these point to one truth: sleep is such a delicate system that the slightest misstep in any link can throw the entire nocturnal symphony out of tune. When we lose sleep, the brain misses its full maintenance cycle, leading to fatigue, memory decline, and emotional instability. When REM sleep is insufficient, emotions become trapped, making us irritable or anxious. When deep sleep is disrupted, the body fails to heal, and immunity weakens. Sleep, therefore, is not merely a biological necessity, it is the foundation of mental balance. As sleep scientist Alan Rechtschaffen once said, "If sleep does not serve an absolutely vital function,
then it is the biggest mistake evolution ever made. Nightmares, panic, or sleep paralysis all are frightening.
Yet if we look deeper, we see they are not our enemies. They are our teachers, urging us to listen to ourselves. Just as beautiful dreams let us soar, nightmares teach us to stand firm. Just as light needs shadow to shine, sleep needs its darker fragments to be complete. Once we understand this, we no longer fear restless nights. We realize that after every bad dream, the brain is trying to heal. After every moment of paralysis, the mind is learning to synchronize with the body. And when morning comes and sunlight touches our face, we smile, knowing that no matter where dreams may take us, it is always we who return after long nights of nightmares and disorders. We begin to realize dreams are not just where the brain reenacts emotions. They are honest mirrors reflecting our mental health. Dreams may appear meaningless on the surface, but if we listen closely, every image, every feeling is the voice of the mind speaking. Dreams do not lie. They do not invent what we have not felt. They only project, sometimes distorted, sometimes refined, what resides within us. In that inner world, sorrow takes shape, fear has color, and memory transforms into unforgettable scenes. Through the private language of the unconscious, dreams tell the story of the soul, the story we have neither time nor courage to hear in daylight. Those with depression often describe their dreams as heavy, grey, and repetitive. This is no coincidence. In their brains, the amygdala, with the center of negative emotion, is overactive, while the prefrontal cortex, the regulator of emotion, is weakened. As a result, sadness seeps even into sleep. Their dreams revolve around loss, separation, failure, or helplessness. Many say they feel tired even while sleeping, as if the brain refuses to grant them rest from their pain. Such dreams are not enemies, but warnings. They signal that the mind is overloaded, that emotions remain unresolved. By observing dreams, therapists can often gauge the depth of depression and adjust treatment accordingly. At the same time, sorrowful dreams can also be attempts at self-healing, the brain's effort to replay pain until it learns acceptance so that the hurt softens upon waking. For those with anxiety disorders, dreams often take the form of pursuit, being chased, running late, trapped in a maze, or trying to speak, but no sound comes out. These images are not random, they are biological metaphors for anxiety. During sleep, the amygdala remains on high alert, while the hippocampus replays stressful memories, creating a sense of threat even when none exists. Anxious individuals live in a state of constant vigilance, and their dreams merely continue the same drama through the night. They awaken with rapid heartbeat, sweaty palms, and confusion about why they feel such fear. In these cases, the dream is like a recurring psychological film, not meant to torment, but to ask, what is it that frightens you so deeply? Once the root of anxiety is recognized, the dream's power fades, and the emotion is released. No dream is more harrowing than that of a person with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. These are not mere dreams, but full replays of memory. The explosion, the fire, the faces, the voices, all so real that the dreamer wakes up in panic. In PTSD, the brain malfunctions in processing trauma. Instead of transferring the memory to normal storage, it remains stuck in the amygdala where raw fear resides. Thus, each night, the brain tries to reprocess the memory, forcing the sufferer to relive the pain again and again. Studies show that during REM sleep, the amygdala and hippocampus are hyperactive, while the prefrontal cortex in the rational gatekeeper stays weak. Consequently, traumatic memories flood through without restraint. For them, dreaming is a return to the battlefield, though the war has ended, though the room is silent. This makes them fear sleep, fear dreaming, fear the night itself. Yet within that darkness, dreams also offer a path toward healing. One of the most effective treatments for PTSD and chronic nightmares is imagery rehearsal therapy, IRT, the practice of dream rescripting. It is a profoundly humane approach. Instead of avoidance, patients are guided to recount their frightening dreams, then rewrite them with new endings, gentler, safer, more compassionate. They visualize the revised version every day before sleep. Gradually, the brain learns the new edition of the story.
And when the dream returns, it no longer replays the old version, but it chooses the new,
less painful one. Studies show that within just a few weeks, nightmare frequency drops by up to 70%, and patients begin to sleep more deeply and wake more peacefully. D is a beautiful demonstration that the brain can rewrite the script of fear, that dreams can become instruments of self-healing when we listen and cooperate with them. Many psychologists view dreams as emotional maps. There is no such thing as a meaningless dream, only dreams whose language we have yet to learn. A dream of falling may reflect a loss of control. A dream of missing a train or being late reveals fear of not keeping up with life. A dream of a departed loved one shows the lingering need to say goodbye. If recorded and observed over time, such dreams can help therapists trace emotional patterns and help dreamers understand themselves better. In many therapy centers, patients are encouraged to keep dream journals, not for superstition or fortune-telling, but as dialogues with their subconscious emotions. For when an emotion is named, it loses its destructive power and begins to transform into the energy of healing. In recent years, some psychotherapists have combined dream therapy with creative arts, writing, painting, music, and theater. Patients are encouraged to translate their dreams into images or stories, not to make them beautiful, but to make them true by painting fear, rewriting nightmares, or performing their dreams. People transform painful memories into works of art, and in that creative process, emotion is released. In Japan, many PTSD patients have used this technique as a kind of purification ritual, and the results have been remarkably positive. Science calls it expressive therapy, therapy through expression. But in truth, it is simply the way humans rediscover the voice of their own souls. When we step back and look at the whole picture, we see this. When the mind is wounded, dreams reflect pain. When emotions grow too strong, dreams release the pressure. When memories repeat, dreams attempt to restructure them for acceptance. Dreams, whether joyous or sorrowful, serve a survival purpose. They help the brain balance emotion and keep the spirit from collapsing. They are the brain's built-in mechanism of compassion, deeply encoded within us, not to frighten us, but to help us rise after fear. And perhaps understanding this is the first step toward healing. When we stop fearing dreams, dreams stop frightening us. Dreams and mental health are inseparable. Dreams mirror how we live, how we love, how we endure, and how we hope. Each night, as we sleep, the mind quietly tidies the room of emotion. Even if messy, it remains loyal to one mission: to help us heal. So instead of fearing dreams, let us be grateful for them, because it is only in the darkness of dreams that we can truly see the light of consciousness. And perhaps when night fades and we open our eyes to the morning, that light on our face is not only the sun, but also the small light within. Having just survived a storm and found peace again, we have seen dreams as mirrors of the human soul. But then a question arises. If dreams are a function of the brain, are humans the only ones who dream? Or perhaps when night falls, the entire world dreams together? Imagine this. In the quiet of midnight, a small cat curls up on the sofa. Its ears twitch, paws flex, and a faint meow escapes its lips. Across the room, a sleeping dog lets out a soft bark, its legs moving as if running after something in its dream. If you've ever seen such moments, you've likely wondered, are they dreaming? According to modern science, the answer is yes. And not just cats and dogs, but also rats, birds, and even octopuses may dream. The journey to understanding animal dreams began in the 1960s with French neuroscientist Michel Jouvet. He studied cats in a laboratory and discovered that during deep sleep, their bodies were motionless while their eyes darted rapidly, just like humans during REM sleep. Then Jouvet performed a bold experiment. He disabled the part of the brain responsible for muscle paralysis during REM, the pontine tegmentum. The result was astonishing. As the cats slept, they stood up, pounced, stalked, clawed, and wagged their tails as if hunting prey in their dreams. No one had taught them this. Their bodies were asleep, but their brains were reenacting instinctive behavior. Jouvet called this phenomenon dreaming without atonia, dreaming without muscle paralysis. From this, he concluded that animals do dream, and they dream of what they do. Over 40 years later, at MIT, neuroscientist Matthew Wilson and his colleagues confirmed Jouvet's findings with precise neural data. They implanted electrodes into the brains of rats to observe the activity of the hippocampus, the region responsible for memory. During the day, as the rats ran through a maze, specific neurons fired in distinctive sequences, leading like a musical score of movement. The wonder came at night. When the rats slept, their brains replayed that exact same tune, every beat, every pattern. The rats were running the maze again in their dreams. Sometimes, the neural pattern changed, as if the rat was imagining a new route, experimenting with alternatives. Wilson remarked, "That's how the brain learns." The rat is using its dreams to practice memory and problem solving. If such a small creature already uses dreams to learn, then dreaming may well be an ancient evolutionary mechanism, one that existed long before humans ever appeared. We don't need a laboratory to feel this truth. Anyone who has lived with pets has seen
it. A dog twitching its paws,
softly barking or wagging its tail, a cat's ears flicking, whiskers quivering, even a faint meow in its sleep. Studies from Harvard University and the University of Wisconsin show that dogs and cats experience REM cycles similar to humans, and their brain activity during REM is nearly identical. In other words, when a dog sleeps, it dreams of its day, of running, playing, sniffing, or seeing its owner. Neuroscientist Stanley Coren once said, "If you see your dog moving its legs while asleep, it's probably chasing the ball it missed this afternoon." And cats? Jouvet believed that cats dream of their primal hunting instincts, because even pampered house cats still stalk prey in their dreams, though their only quarry in waking life is food from a bowl. Dreams, in this sense, are not merely stories of the mind, they are the echoes of instinct, written deep within the species. Another extraordinary discovery came from researchers at the University of Chicago studying songbirds. When a bird learns a new song, Its brain emits a complex pattern of sound-related signals. At night, while the bird sleeps, that pattern is repeated precisely. This means the bird is practicing its song in its dreams. Even more astonishing, when scientists played recordings of the bird's own songs during sleep, the birds responded and as if conversing within the dream. Their dreams, perhaps, are symphonies of memory, where melody becomes the language of instinct, refined through the night, as Professor Daniel Margoliouth, who led the research, beautifully said, "If humans dream in images, then birds dream in music." Even ocean creatures like octopuses are thought to dream. Researchers in Brazil filmed sleeping octopuses and noticed something mesmerizing. Within seconds, their skin changed colors repeatedly, from gray to brown, then yellow, then speckled black. This pattern matched bursts of neural activity similar to REM sleep. Some biologists speculate that the octopus may be dreaming of hunting, hiding or camouflaging, vital survival behaviors. If true, it means that even creatures without backbones or language possess an inner world, where memory and instinct meet in sleep. This opens up a profound hypothesis. Dreaming is not a privilege of humankind, but a shared legacy of life itself. Why do animals dream? The answer may lie in evolution. According to neuroscientists, dreaming may have emerged hundreds of millions of years ago as a mechanism for the brain to rehearse survival skills. Hunting, escaping predators, remembering terrain, or testing responses to danger. By day, an animal learns through action. By night, it practices through dreams. The brain replays neural patterns, strengthens synaptic connections, and eliminates excess information.
In humans, this mechanism still exists, only more refined. Instead of rehearsing hunting,
We rehearse emotions and thoughts, but the principle remains the same. Dreams are the brain's nightly exercise. As neuroscientist Matthew Walker once wrote, "If evolution has preserved dreaming for hundreds of millions of years, then it must be essential, not only for humans, but for all conscious beings." Interestingly, though species differ in form, many share brain structures tied to emotion, especially the amygdala and hippocampus. When these regions activate during sleep, dreams emerge. This suggests something profound. Emotion is the universal language of life. When a dog dreams of being petted, when a bird dreams of singing, when a mouse dreams of finding a kernel of corn, these are not reflexes, but emotions being processed, much like when humans dream of love, loss or longing. Perhaps in that dreaming world, we, humans and all creatures, are not so different. We all dream, remember, fear and hope, only unable to tell one another about it. The science of animal dreaming is changing how we see the world. Instead of viewing animals as instinct-driven creatures, we now see that they too possess inner life, their own night minds, much like ours. This blurs the line between humanity and nature, for in dreams, all living beings are equal, silent, eyes closed, letting their minds tell their stories, and perhaps somewhere in the forests, the oceans, or the quiet room where a dog sleeps, dreams intertwine, weaving together a silent symphony of life. When dawn arrives, millions of beings awaken from dreams we will never fully understand. They open their eyes, stretch, shake off sleep, and begin again, as if they have just completed nature's secret rehearsal. From mice to humans, from birds to octopuses, dreams serve a common purpose: to help life learn, adapt, and feel. Dreams are the invisible threads connecting all living things. Through memory, emotion, and the desire to exist, perhaps in those moments when all are asleep, the planet is at its most peaceful. For then, despite our differences in form or voice, we are all doing the same thing, dreaming. We have journeyed through the dreams of humanity, of animals, of evolution's past. But perhaps the strangest chapter of this odyssey lies not in antiquity, but in the future, when humans begin to learn how to read, write, and even control their own dreams. For thousands of years, dreams existed only within the mind, a private world, unshareable, unrecordable, remembered only through fading morning recollections. But now, with advances in neuroscience and artificial intelligence, dreams are becoming data. And for the first time in history, humanity stands at the threshold of reading, even influencing, the world of dreams. Not long ago, the idea of recording dreams was pure science fiction. Yet in laboratories across Japan, the US, and Europe, scientists are decoding dream imagery using a combination of fMRI, functional magnetic resonance imaging, and deep learning AI, a landmark experiment by Yukiyasu. Kamitani's team at Kyoto University marked a turning point. Participants were shown thousands of images while awake: faces, objects, landscapes, while researchers recorded their brain activity via fMRI. Later, during REM sleep, participants were gently awakened and asked to describe their dreams. AI then compared the brain signals from dreaming to those from wakefulness, predicting the type of image appearing in the dream with roughly 60% accuracy. This means the computer couldn't read thoughts, but it could infer what category of image the brain was processing. Person, car, dog, a house. A small door had opened between the physical world and the world of imagination, artificial. Intelligence is becoming increasingly adept at learning the brain's language to the machine. Each dream is a painting made of electrical waves and flowing blood, where every flicker of light within the brain corresponds to an image, a sound, or an emotion. Modern AI models, such as Stable Diffusion and Deep Dream Decoder, are now being trained to reconstruct images from fMRI signals. And though the results remain blurry, they are astonishing. Hazy faces, warped landscapes, diffuse light like misted glass. It's as if we were watching slow-motion footage from inside someone else's mind. These ghostly frames, though imperfect, reveal something once thought impossible, that the mind can be visualized through technology. Scientists are not only reading dreams, they're learning how to write them. This emerging field, called Targeted Dream Incubation, TDI, seeks to gently guide dream content through sound, scent, or mild electrical cues introduced during pre-REM sleep. In a 2020 experiment at MIT, participants heard prompts such as tree, creativity, or relaxation while sleeping, and their dreams reflected those themes far more frequently. From there, potential applications began to emerge. Emotional therapy, steering dreamers toward positive imagery to reduce nightmares. Creative enhancement, letting the brain think through problems while dreaming, then recording insights upon waking. Subconscious learning, reinforcing memory through repeated cues during sleep. One day, we might compose dreams as if composing music, choosing the theme, the mood, even the ending. Imagine the future. You wear a small device, fall asleep, and wake up able to replay your dream like a hazy film. The sound is faint, the image is soft, but the emotions are vivid. Laughter, faces, skies, moments long gone. This is no longer far-fetched. Research groups at Neuralink Meta Reality Labs and MIT Media Lab are developing brain-computer interfaces, BCIs, capable of recording and simulating complex neural activity. If successful, the brain's private cinema could become reality, a space where we might literally watch our own dreams. But that brings an unsettling question. Are we ready to let others watch them too? As technology approaches the borders of consciousness, the world is beginning to discuss a new concept, neuro rights, the right to mental privacy. If machines can read thoughts, dreams or memories, the boundary between human and data dissolves. Who owns those dreams? Who ensures that the most intimate realm of consciousness is not exploited or hacked? Chile became the first country in the world to include neuro rights in its constitution, declaring brain data inviolable property. Ethicists warn, without early legal safeguards, dream reading could become an intrusion upon mental freedom, something once confined to dystopian fiction. Dreams were once humanity's final private space, and now, as technology dares to enter, we must ask, what remains truly ours when even the mind becomes data? Yet, the future holds not only danger, but hope. Scientists believe that understanding dreaming could unlock new frontiers in therapy, helping PTSD patients confront trauma safely, activating positive emotion to treat depression, stimulating creativity through guided dreaming. At Harvard University, artists participated in dream engineering, a creative dreaming experiment using audio cues to evoke imagery. The results were remarkable. Guided dreams became more vivid, more coherent, and many participants woke with fresh inspiration. Dreams in this way return to their primal role, an infinite landscape of creativity where science and art converge. But if we can read, record, and direct dreams, what remains real? If dreams can be designed, does their spontaneity, mystery, and wonder, the very soul of dreaming, still survive? These questions belong not only to science but to philosophy. For in a world where reality can be programmed, the meaning of dream itself may transform. Perhaps one day, some will choose to dream to live, crafting their own private worlds, safer and more beautiful than waking life. And then, science will face the oldest question of all. If a dream is real enough to make us happy, what is wrong with living in it? No matter how advanced technology becomes, there remains something machines cannot measure: the emotional meaning of dreams. A computer can track brain waves and decode imagery, but it cannot know why we dream of the departed, or why we weep when touched by a hand in sleep. In its deepest essence, the dream is still the language of the soul, in a language no algorithm can replace. And perhaps it is precisely this limitation that keeps dreams sacred. Neuroscientist Christoph Koch once said, "Science can measure every signal of the brain, but it cannot measure the feeling of a kiss in a dream." Dreams, ultimately, are not just signals. They are experiences of being alive. The future of dreams is not merely a question of science, but of ethics, and of what it means to be human. For the deeper we delve into dreams, the closer we approach the ultimate mystery: what consciousness truly is. Perhaps one day, we will watch our dreams on screens, adjust our emotions,
Even write scripts for tomorrow night.
but maybe we should keep one part of dreaming unreadable, so that dreams remain our last domain of freedom, a sanctuary where the mind can simply be itself, untouched by data, analysis, or intervention. For dreams, even when measured, simulated, or recorded, are still the one place where we are most authentic. And perhaps, when technology grows powerful enough to read every dream, the only thing we will still long for is the right to dream unseen. The night wanes. Every dream has been told, from the dreams of ancients, of scientists, of children, to those of birds and tiny mice. We have traveled a long road, through myth, psychoanalysis, neuroscience,
And into the borders of technology and the future. And as the first light of dawn brushes against our eyelids,
perhaps it is time to pause, not because there is nothing left to say, but because we have reached the place where language can go no further. Dreams are the one thing that makes science humble. All the numbers, the brain scans, the AI models, they touch only the surface. Never the soul of dreaming, for a dream is not just an electrical signal. It is a poem the brain writes while we sleep. A poem without rhyme or syntax, only emotion. There, the mind tells the stories we dare not face by day. A memory, a longing, an unspoken word, a forgotten face. Dreams prove that humans have never stopped telling stories. Even as we sleep, the mind continues to weave its own. Imperfect, illogical, yet utterly true. It is where reason rests so that emotion may speak, where science bows its head so that poetry may enter, where every person, whether researcher or dreamer, meets in the same quiet truth we are all trying to understand ourselves. Perhaps that is the deepest meaning of all those studies, experiments, fMRI machines, and AI models, not to measure dreams, but to remind us that dreams still exist. There remain things science cannot dissect, like the calm of dreaming of a loved one, the laughter without reason, or the soft, glowing light that makes us feel alive once more. When we realize that mystery is as precious as truth, we will stop trying to decode dreams and start learning to listen to them. Gently, patiently, and with gratitude, for perhaps dreams were never meant to be fully understood. They exist to remind us that within this rational brain, there still lies a place that knows how to feel. And so the storyteller smiles softly. The tale is over. The machines shut down. The brain waves quiet. Somewhere, a sleepy scientist closes a notebook and murmurs, "Tomorrow, I'll continue studying dreams." Then rests their head upon the desk and begins to dream again.